Ito ang Broad Streamcast Communicators, ang naiiba at kakaibang plataforma sa digital broadcast. Mula Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao hanggang sa iba't ibang dako ng mundo. Broad Streamcast Communicators, ang sandigan ng sambayanan mula sa walang labis at walang kulang na pagbabalita, paglilingkod, maglalahad ng mga mapagbuong komentaryo at usaping pambayan para sa kapakanan ng karamihan. Broad Streamcast Communicators, tuwirang maglilingkod ngayon hanggang sa susunod na henerasyon. Buhay Online, chikahan at kaalamang pangkabuhayan. Ating tunghayan, pakinggan at tuklasin ang mga pangyayari at kaganapan sa mundo ng online. Buhay Online, chikahan at kaalamang pangkabuhayan. Alamin ang pinaka-latest trends mula sa trabaho at kung hanggang saan na ang narating ng teknolohiyang ito. At ngayon, narito na ang ating host, ang ating TechieMommy, si Jaye C. Bautista.
Hello, good morning. Happy, ano ba yan? I lost track of my days. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Magandang umaga sa inyo po. At sa napakainit na panahon, buti na lang, it rained yesterday. It was raining yesterday, lumamig-lamig medyo yung hangin. Pero grabe, diba? The heat is sweltering. Talagang pag wala kang, kahit nakatakpat ka na nga sa electric fan, yun na nga, umutulo pa rin yung pawis mo. And of course, hindi mo maiwasan, hindi mag-aircon, pero just me, ang elektrisidad, nakakaloka. Pero sometimes talaga, I just can't stand it. It's too hot. But anyway, good morning to everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's June 2. I mean, really, it's really unbelievable na tapos na ang kalahati. Nasa kalahati na tayo ng 2021. Oh my gosh. Of course, napakabilis ng mga araw. Parang kaka-New Year pa lang. Yun ang kaka-1 year pa lang nitong pandemic. My goodness, it's already half the year. Parang actually, kung sa normal pag-aaral, bakasyon na, dapat summer vacation na ng mga bata. Pero kasi nag-umpisa tayo late. Last year, we started school August, diba? But the public school started in June. Pero yun na nga, my goodness, tapos na ang kalahati ng taon. And of course, we are still in this situation. Ang good news lang is of course, yung mga bakuna ay nangyayari na sa buong mundo, right? And of course, the Philippines included. I'm still waiting to get my shot. Hindi pa ako na vaccinate. Pero yung mga kamag-anak ko sa Manila, tapos na lahat. Tsaka mga friends. Dito sa Pampanga, medyo mabagal dito ang usad ng pagbabakuna. Tsaka doon nga, sinashoutout ko, walang sistema. Doon sa, nakalimutan ko ano, basta isang place dito sa Pampanga, yung elderly ng yung aking husband na the Lakap family, the mga senior citizens, my God, they were subjected to hours of waiting sa pag-injection. Tsaka dikit-dikit daw, hindi social distancing dito sa Pampanga, San Fernando. And kawawa yung matatanda, di ba sabi nga ni Duterte, wag daw pag-antayin yung mga senior citizen. Pero buti nga walang mga hinimatay doon. My goodness, yung tita ni Jenny, my husband to be, my fiancé, they waited there from 9 o'clock in the morning, hapon na sila na bakunahan. Right? Kaloka, senior citizens, right? Mga iba. Tapos pag naka-wheelchair ka, papaunahin ka, so to speak. Pero paunahin ka para ka pumila ulit sa isang kwarto para mag-antay din doon ng ilang oras. Pero walang sistema. Of course, sa Marikina, dyan sa amin, sa Marikina, I miss my town. Systematic talaga. Maluwag pa yung parang gym na yon or whatever where they got the injections. Saka may sistema. Agad-agad na tapos. I heard that some parts of Pampanga, ng mga barangay, hindi ganun katagal ang pag-aantay. For example, yung isa namin kakilala, yung parents niya, nagpunta ng 9 ng umaga, basta 11 or by noon tapos na. I don't know, basta dapat ayusin naman per barangay or whatever. Tsaka hindi daw nakaano, doon sa public place, hindi raw by town or by barangay. Basta first come, first serve yata. So talagang chaotic. Tsaka ang daming tao. Dapat, di ba, dapat inaayos yung kung ilang tao na, kung ilang libong tao lang ang pwede, whatever yung capacity ng lugar. Kasi nga, social distancing. Mga senior citizens pa naman, sila pa naman yun, tsaka may mga may mga existing conditions, yung pang madaling mahawa, sila pa yung inexposed sa ganon. But anyway, so, sana po ayusin yung sistema ng pagbabakuna. Anyway, and in line with this, no, we're still in the subject of education in this pandemic, kung anong klaseng education tayo meron, which is of course online learning or distance learning. Of course, may difference. Online learning is part of distance learning, right? So let's further define and let's talk about this more extensively today, okay? Ang distance learning, okay? Anong difference? Distance learning in the Philippines, okay? We're going to talk about that today. Tsaka tingnan nyo naman itong aking background, right? Yan ang nangyayari ngayon, ang pag-aaral ng mga bata, right? Live, after lockdown, nakita nyo itong, right? There you go. Tada! At saka paano nag-aaral mga bata, iba-iba klase. Ang distance learning is yun ang online studying through the internet. Tsaka ito yung may modules, right, like that, modules. Yung distribute yung physical handouts. So yan, mga nag-aaral sa bahay o yung mga walang computer, yung nanay nagtuturo, yung modules. At saka syempre yung iba, yan, internet. So yan ang iba't ibang mukha ng pag-aaral sa panahon ng pandemya. You can see it all around me, okay? You can look at it in families that don't have internet. That's the reality here in the Philippines, right? So, distance learning in the Philippines, diba? Tapos na yung mga maliligayang araw ng traditional classrooms. Dahil more than a year na nga tayong nag-aaral online or modules, right? No more traditional classrooms and face-to-face learning as for now, okay? Because as the pandemic changes the way we live, okay, kasali dyan, of course, yung pag-aaral ng ating mga anak. The demand for a more flexible learning opportunity kasi arose, right? And to address this growing necessity, schools all over the Philippines shifted to distance learning, okay? What is distance learning? It is a remote learning method where students don't need to attend lectures and can study at their own pace, okay? Keep on reading. Now we're going to keep the students are studying or they keep on, their education continues, pero hindi na kailangan mga pumunta sa physical na eskwela, okay? So let's know more about this setup and its difference with online learning. We also break down the pros and cons and list tools and resources that we can use, okay? So unang-una, what is distance learning, okay? All right. Distance learning, as I said, is a method where the teacher and the student are separated geographically, obviously. So they are not in one place together, or much less in one room together, okay? There is no interaction between students and little face-to-face interaction between students and their teachers, okay? In a distance learning setup, students may get their learning materials via, of course, the usual snail mail, regular mail, email, or the internet, okay? Learning assessments can be in the form of written exams or assignments, performance tasks, or portfolios. The students can also ask for support through the telephone, right? Snail mail. When I say snail mail, it means yung kartero, dinadala yung sulat mo, okay? Normal postal way, okay? Email or instant messaging applications used by their teachers like Viber, WeChat, WhatsApp, no? Mga ganyan, alright? Or Messenger, okay? Also known as correspondence education, correspondence meaning written. This method originally targeted non-traditional learners, such as full-time employees or those who couldn't physically attend a classroom or a lecture, or those who can't belong to a classroom situation, right? Dito nag-evolve yung distance learning. So distance learning has been happening for years. But more so nga itong pandemya, right? Because of the growing demand for alternative learning measures or arrangements, especially in this pandemic, distance education now caters to almost every type of student, all right? Okay? So now, pag-usapan natin, ano ang diferensya ng distance learning versus online learning, okay? Okay? All right? The difference between most people think kasi that distance learning and online learning are the same. While it's an understandable confusion, di ba? Kasi parehong hindi ka nag-aaral in the same room as your teacher. There is a difference between them. All right? Okay. Let's make this clear now. Ang distance learning kasi is the traditional self-study course. Okay? Self-study, all right, is the operative word. Teachers mail learning resources or students may get them online. Okay? Students also have to complete the learning tasks based on the schedules assigned. I think you can liken this to yung mga nag-homeschool ng anak nila, right? Because sa homeschooling, you submit your reports, right? You do learning tasks also, pero yun na nga with your parents. Kung bata pa kayo, kasi sila yung nagpapa-homeschool sa inyo. While students and teachers can use the internet as a medium to receive and submit assignments, they do not interact via online lectures or online forums to discuss the learning materials. So, ang distance learning is yun, papadala lang sa'yo through email, pero ikaw ang sariling mag-aaral. Wala kang interaction like in a Zoom class with other people. This is self-study per se, right? On the other hand naman, ang online learning heavily uses the internet as a tool for education. Itong distance learning, yung materials mo, napapadala sa'yo through internet or through the mail or yung module, I guess. Pero not necessarily kang gumagamit ng internet para mag-aral or makita yung teacher o yung mga kaklase mo. Alright? So, ayun ang difference. Because online learning is totally reliant on the internet. Okay? There is a physical distance between students and teachers, but they can interact during virtual lectures like Zoom and Google Teams and other online assessments, okay? Classes are often scheduled at a specific time with students needing to be online to attend the virtual lecture. Yan ang distance learning at your own pace and time ang pag-aaral mo. Self-study talaga literally, all right? Okay, classes are often scheduled at a specific time dito sa online learning. In this setup, ang mga estudyante can also discuss the lecture or ask questions sa teachers nila in real time. Kasi nga, di ba, interactive. Additionally, they can interact with fellow students via online platforms. Sila nga, like Zoom, like Google Teams, like Lark, like ang dami ngayon nag-uusbungan ng mga similar to to Zoom. Dati Skype lang eh. Yung Skype naman, dapat na nilang i-reinvent sarili nila para wag silang mapag-iwanan, right? Because some people still use Skype. But I found that a little bit, their work works in that. When I was using Skype to teach, when I was teaching sa ACADSOC tsaka sa GoFluent, sometimes talaga nagbo-bog down palagi eh. Tsaka hindi masyadong robust yung Skype application. Anyway, okay. What are the distance learning programs in the Philippines, okay? Most distance learning courses in the Philippines often cater to learners wanting to get a degree but can't physically attend classroom lectures, okay? Some of the institutions offering distance learning programs are, okay, itong mga eskwela na pwede nyong haralan, okay? AMA or MAA Online University, okay? Asian Institute for, sige na nga, let me list it down so people can see it and view it, all right? Let me just do it. So, para makapag-take notes yung mga nagte-take notes, all right? Para sabihin ko ano itong mga distance learning programs. All right. para yung mga anak nyo pwede nyo ditong i-enroll. Okay? Hold on. Let me just please get it. These are the programs or the schools that offer distance learning. Okay? Let me just get it. Sorry. Yung mga impromptu to na naiisip ko lang kasi that uh, that will seem useful for you, right? So it's where is it? So na ba yun? Online. What did I say? Schools. So na napunta. There you go. Okay, I got it. All right. So these are the learning programs that are offered. Okay. Yan, that must cover my face. It's okay. Ayan. Let's cover ano ba yan? Cover. Let's cover my face for a while so that you can read. Ito, some of the institutions offering distance learning programs are the AMA or AMA, Online University, Asian Institute for Distance Education, Benguet State University, CAP or CAP College Foundation Inc., New Era University, Philippine Women's University. Ayan, my good friend and my beloved Rufa Gutierrez. Congratulations on her endeavor to enroll and finish her college education. She's enrolled in PWU. Mag-aaral ang aking pinakamamahal din na isang tao sa buhay ko ay si Rufa. Congratulations to you. Very good. She has decided to step up her game. Na alam niya, of course, ang pag-artista ay hindi forever. This is her fallback. Sabi nga niya, she wants to be a good example to her children by completing her education. Kudos to you, Ruth. Good job. Okay? So, Philippine Women University, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Open University System, Southville School and Colleges, University of the Philippines Open University, and Visayas State University. Ay, baka pwede pa kaya ako mag-enroll? Just, diba, kabayo lang ang tumatanda and learning is forever as long as there's the willingness, right? And of course, the lucidness to study. All right? So yun, okay? Those are the institutions offering distance learning here in the Philippines, okay? Okay, na-note nyo na yan, all right? Pwede ko na alisin. Bye-bye. Let me remove it. Good job. All right, there. So, the Department of Education, or DepEd, also created an internet-based education program called IDEP, right? Tsaka an Open High School Program, OHSP, noong 2011. These programs made distance learning possible for high school students who want to study at their own pace without attending a traditional classroom. The IDEP offers formal secondary education for high school students using internet-based technologies. Classes are conducted and managed online. Meanwhile, ang OHSP provides learning opportunities for students wanting to complete secondary education in a purely distance learning mode. Okay? O, ano-anong mga eskwela? Ay, ang haba eh, so sasabihin ko na lang. What are the schools that are offering IDEP or internet-based education programs? It is the Baguio City National School. Well, good job talaga ang Baguio, Baguio, Benguet pa rin kanina. Ngayon, Baguio City National High School, Florencio Urot Memorial, National High School Cebu City, and National High School Davao City. Very good. While OHSP are offered in the following schools in Metro Manila. Again, OHSP meaning Open High School Programs. Okay? Anong mga open sa OHSP learning sa Metro Manila? Ang Benigno Aquino National High School in Makati, sa Makati. Commonwealth High School, Gregorio Perfecto National High School, Quezon City, wow, National High School, good job. Lagro National High School in Quezon City rin. Malabon National High School. Wow, Marikina National High School. Ramon Magsaysay High School in Cubao. Rizal High School sa Maine. At ang Tinajeros National High School sa Malabon. Okay. Aside from these schools offering IDEP and OHSP, There are distance learning programs for high school students offered by private academic institutions such as, ano pa, ang AMA Online Senior High School, ang Catholic Filipino Academy, ang Harvest Christian International, at saka ang Treston International College, okay? Ito ang mga private schools, okay? Alright, so, ang advantages at disadvantages ng distance learning, okay? Siyempre, I think there's more advantages naman than disadvantage, right? If even there are any, okay? Okay, so now, distance learning may not be for everyone, especially for learners who like routines and schedules. To further understand if distance learning may work for you, let's look at these pros and cons of new normal in education, okay? Let's look at this new normal in education, the new orientation that we are succumbing our children to, okay? Unahin na natin yung mga good news, okay? Unahin natin yung good points, okay? Advantages ng distance learning, all right? Since a distance learning course is self-study, all right, it offers flexibility in terms of location, okay? You can study your materials anywhere as long as you get to submit your assessments on the agreed dates, okay? Okay, ano pa? Distance learning saves time, all right? Distance learning can also save you time. Once you're finished for the day, you can do other errands or hobbies you have. You also don't have to travel and be stuck in traffic to attend classroom lectures, right? Of course, right? Mm-hmm. And what else? It is cheaper, okay? Truth be told, right? Pero sa akin, hindi yan ang nangyari. Distance learning or not, pareho. It's not cheaper. Distance learning programs offered by public schools are often free or come with only minimal fees, right? Programs offered by private institutions may also be cheaper than their traditional counterparts. Okay? At ano pa ang kinakabuti ng distance learning is self-paced. Tama. Ikaw ang mag-gauge sa sarili mo kung how much time you can spend on a certain subject or taking care of other things, all right? Distance learning programs offered by public schools are often free or come with only minimal fees. Programs offered by private institutions may also be cheaper than their traditional counterparts. Okay? Ano pa, self-paced to kasi nga ikaw nagde-determine ng oras mo. Different people learn in different ways, right? And in different capacities. So you can learn at your own pace with distance education. If there are lessons that you find a bit hard to understand, you can spend as much time as you want to study them. Very good. Meaning, hindi kagaya nung nagla-lock in pagka ginamit mo na minsan, hindi ka na pwede umulit. Right? Ano ang mga disadvantages na nakikita natin? Alright, disadvantages naman tayo. We just finished advantages. Just flexible, saves time, cheaper, and self-paced. But now we go down to disadvantages, alright? Especially in this heat. There's minimal social interaction, sabi daw, okay? Distance learning offers a little interaction between students and teachers, but fellow students some of the students are not able to communicate at all with other online students, okay? So, what is a disadvantage? There's minimal social interaction. Distance learning offers a little interaction between students and teachers. So fellow students may not be able to communicate with their teachers at all. That's what they're saying. But, of course, we have to report, right? Pagka masyado ng madami, right? Distance learning kasi, yung pag hindi tayo marami sa isang kwarto, actually, distance learning, ikaw nga lang mag-isa. Pero yun ang pitfalls dyan. Yung sa psychological makeup ng estudyante or sa kanyang naghahanap siya ng ka-interact, right? Number 2 disadvantage, there's little support. Since this approach relies heavily on the student's ability to study on his or her or his own, It is challenging to find additional resources for the assessments independently. Okay? All right. Ano pang disadvantages? Accessibility may be a problem, okay? Because not everyone has gadgets or internet access. Of course, truth, that is nothing but the truth. You may also find it difficult to get the materials for the courses if you live in a remote area. Yan ang nakakaluoy dyan, right? Requires self-motivation. Again, same thing as I was talking about in my show. You know, you have to motivate the students to study even if they're home or in the kitchen or in the living room. Because, magbababa yung moral nila after a while and then lalo pa lang sila magbubulakbol, right? This requires self-motivation. You may have had a hard time finishing your assignments and study materials of environment. If you're the type of person who needs an extra push to work, it is also easy to be distracted as you're learning, okay? And then, you have to know how to recover from the pandemic situation in your studies. You have to have a different mindset altogether. That's what I think, right? So it requires self-motivation. You may have a hard time finishing your assignments and study materials. If you're the type of person who needs an extra push to work, then right now is the time to get out of your shell, all right? And do what you must, okay? It is also easy to be distracted as your learning environment is not as controlled as that of a classroom, right? So that is one of the disadvantages, all right? Aside from self-motivation, you may need support to fully maximize your distance learning or teaching experience. Here are a few tools and resources that can help us, all right? Okay, the first one is called Abra, okay? And the website nila is https literacy.concordia. Actually, ang pinaka-main dyan is literacy.concordia. CA/EN. Okay, the platform offers a selection of game-like activities in English and in French for early learners, promoting reading comprehension enhancement. All right. Okay. So what else? There's the Adarna's House Escualero. Adarna and Raya School collaborated to bring storytelling and singing sessions for the young learners. The videos are posted on Adarna's YouTube page. All right. The next one is the AHA Learning Center, all right? www.facebook.com AHA Learning. Resources via AHA are free for most Filipinos. You can get modules on creative writing, devotions, and wellness via Google Docs or Facebook Messenger, okay? All right? Ano pa? Itong Aperture Education, okay? Website nila, http://info.aperturead, right? Aperturead, parang apertured, apertured.com, archive/resources, okay? This platform offers free resources in social learning, growth strategies for parents and teachers. The materials also cover support for continued learning, okay? All right. Very good. The next one is BrainPop. BrainPop encourages teachers and students to be more involved in the learning process. Okay, very good. It offers free access to insurers in math, science, humanity, English, and more. Okay. All right. So what is the next one? All right. This BrainPop. BrainPop website is https://www.brainpop.com. BrainPop encourages teachers and students to be more involved in the learning process. It offers free access to BrainPop encourages, right? Okay. BrainPop encourages teachers and students to be more involved in the learning process. It offers a little free access to resources like in math, science, humanity, English, and more. Okay. Okay. Could you a little bit? I just need to. Wala akong taga-abot ng tubig dito because My hubby-dubby is cooking and making our lunch, and my son is doing online classes upstairs. So if you pardon me, I will just grab my tub of water. Hold on, please. My throat is getting dry. Okay, I'm back. That is the wonder of technology because we're live. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Nag-disappear ako sa screen. All right, so back to what I was saying. Okay. DepEd Commons. Okay, itong DepEd Commons is www.commons.deped.gov.ph. This educational platform is created to support distance learning in the Philippines. You can access online review materials and lessons on this website. You can browse DepEd Commons without additional data charges if you're a Globe or TM subscriber. Okay? Ano pa yung CELL-ED? CELL, two words, ED. www.cell/ed.com. Itong water ko, antioxidant, tsaka pang-kontra ng cancer. And detoxing me. This is, it has cucumber and lemon and a little honey. Right? Pwede nyo rin lagyan ng dash ng turmeric. Yan ang tubig. Okay? So, yan, CellEd, tsaka yung CellEd.com, CellEd is an online platform focusing on learner-centered and skills-based education. It offers offline options for students of the courses. Tapos isa pa yung Common Sense Education, www.commonsense.org. This nonprofit organization offers tools and resources supporting school closures. Okay, it also offers tips on transitioning to online and at-home learning for teachers and parents. Galing, no? So yeah, right? Go do that. At ito pang isang site, Discovery Education. www.discoveryeducation.com. This is, of course, you guessed right, this is Discovery Channel's online platform that offers resources on science, history, and current events. It also provides ready-to-use digital lessons and learning resources para sa mga educators. Okay? And of course, andito pa rin, ang tagal na nito, bata pa tayo, Knowledge Channel. Alright? Ang website, www.youtube.com/user/knowledgechannel.org/videos. Ulitin ko yung Knowledge Channel sa YouTube, www.youtube.com/user/knowledgechannel.org/videos. Okay? This channel launched its stay-at-home, learn-at-home program with the DepEd support. Okay? Pwede niyo panoorin ang mga episodes and segments ng show like Sineskwela and ATBP or at iba pa through TV Plus Go, ABS-CBN TV, Plus 7, and Sky Cable. Okay? Alright. So, tuloy na lang yun. Sky Cable Channel 5. Okay? Yung mga, they can be viewed at. Okay? They can be viewed. You can go to these websites and make, not view, but avail of the materials that are being given. Okay? Alright, the Knowledge Channel, okay, you can watch past episodes, alright? Okay, the next one is the National Library of Philippines Online. National Library of the Philippines Online, okay? Website is web.nlp.gov.ph. This is the country's national library that offers free online access to various scholarly titles covering different fields. You can access library information and science abstracts through this website. Oh, coolness. Okay? So, tinanggal na yung website to na tinala na. Alright? Peer Deck. Ano yung Peer Deck? P-E-A-R Deck. Well, if you're a teacher, www.peerdeck.com, P-E-A-R.com. If you're a teacher, you can use this online platform to create more engaging learning content for your students. It offers various features that can make your instructional materials a little bit more interactive. Okay? All right. Meron pa. Philippine e-journals. Okay? Philippine letter E / journals. Okay? The website is ejournals.ph. Philippine e-journals provide scholarly articles and papers in various disciplines. Okay? Ano ba yan? Nabubulol ako. You can easily locate abstracts and related articles using the website's database. Okay? So, ang Philippine e-journals provide scholarly articles and papers in various disciplines. Okay? Okay, up next is Robert Alejandro. His website is www.facebook.com/kuya.robert. Okay, you can now learn art through Facebook by tuning in to Robert Alejandro's live session. Okay, the former art is cool. His school host offers tutorials for both kids and adults. Very good. All right. Okay. Lastly, Scholastic's website, classroommagazines.scholastic.com support learn at home. This publishing company launched a free online research for students, parents, and teachers. Can get various materials for reading lessons in the platform, only if you want. Okay? Okay. Next topic is DepEd comments and distance learning in GCQ. Okay? Distance learning has become more valuable, okay, during the lockdown. Don't you think? What do you guys think? I think so too. With classes suspended from March 12 dati, di ba? Last year onwards to the for the 2019-20 school year, teachers had to adjust lessons and assessments to become more distance learning friendly. While students tried their hardest to continue their education during a time of uncertainty. Despite the GCQ or General Community Quarantine's lighter rules, the need for distance learning grows as the country continues to fight this outbreak. Okay? To address this, the DepEd will be implementing a more robust remote learning approach when classes start in August. Okay? Sabi ng DepEd, the lack of access to technology should not be a problem as schools will provide printed materials for students. There will be 3 months methods of designing learning schools can do, right? Okay? Number one, para doon sa mga nag-aaral na walang gadgets or internet access, yung printed modules will be delivered or picked up by their parents at designated areas and during agreed schedules. Yan na nga, ito sa isa sa mga picture na naka-expose dito. See? Yan ang modules, yung maraming papel na yon na naka-stack up. Yan, din-distribute sa mga magulang or sa mga pamilya. Right? Okay? Alright, so, sabi ng DepEd, teachers had to adjust lessons and assessments to become more distance learning friendly. Totoo naman. While students tried their hardest to continue their education during a time of uncertainty, right? So the EPED says that the lack of access to technology should not be a problem as schools will provide printed materials for students. There will be 3 methods of distance learning schools can use, okay? For students without gadgets or internet access, printed materials will be delivered or picked up by their parents at designated areas during agreed schedules. All right. So, what else? DepEd Commons will be used for students with internet access. Okay. All right. So, yun na nga, yung mga parents, the parents have to arrange to pick up or pinapasundo yung modules na binibigay para mag-aral ng anak niyo. Okay? But some of them, some areas, depende talaga will provide printed material for students and deliver pa sa mga bahay nila, right? Okay? Sana all! For students without gadgets nga, modules will be delivered or picked up by their parents or designated areas. The DepEd Commons will be used for students with internet access. All right. This online education platform is developed to support alternative methods of learning. Totoo talaga namang alternative way of learning na ito right? Radio and TV will be used to deliver lessons, right? Radio-based instruction will use self-paced modules and printed materials, okay? So gamit pa rin sa distance learning ang radio and television. Okay, radio-based instructions will use self-paced modules or printed materials converted into a radio script. Okay? All right? Homeschooling may be another learning method to be used, all right, in the future if it's not already happening now. Actually, I've known a lot of people that homeschool their kids because they don't like the clutter in the streets and the train and everything else. Okay? But homeschooling may be another learning method to be used. Through homeschool, students will have less access to the basic education because this method will be facilitated by qualified parents, tutors, or guardians. However, yung policy nito nire-review pa rin, okay? So, para sa mga estudyante na walang gadgets or internet, ang modular way of distance learning is para sa inyo. Okay? Alright. Okay. So that's how to deal with the pandemic situation in the schools right now. Okay? My final thoughts on this, the COVID-19 outbreak increased the need for distance learning. Dapat na natin yung tanggapin na talaga naman. Prior to COVID na nga, nagiging dependent na sa internet. Lalo pa na nagkaroon ng pandemya. Where, they all see like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna buy more than one of these things because I might lose it or whatever. Okay? So, the COVID-19 outbreak increased the need for distance learning because this setup offers a little to no interaction or opportunity between teachers and students. It is sometimes confused with online learning, which uses the internet for virtual learning. Okay, so yeah, see, because that's virtual learning, right? Wait a minute. I've just given you an overview of what distance learning is, all right? So yun, distance learning, ang diferensya ng distance learning, pawis ko, sa difference ng distance learning sa online learning, okay? Yung online learning totally relies on the internet. So, yung distance learning, hindi necessarily ka mag-on ka or gumamit ng computer. Gagamitin mo sa pag-research, right? Pero wala kang kasama sa pag-aaral. Self-study yun, right? Yung magulang mo, syempre, nandun sa bahay mo. Pero distance learning is like that. Self-study at parang homeschool nga. Not necessarily using the internet. Modules yan gagamitin, right? Okay, so, let's talk about naman, okay, in connection to that, okay? Meron talagang mga disadvantages na sinasabi ng ibang tao, right? Kagaya ng I started to say that yesterday, this is based on Bulatlat, Journalism for the People, okay? This is online, all right? Philippine Education in Crisis, sabi ni Bulatlat contributor, Luis V. Teodoro, okay? Kasi nga sabi niya, ang merong problema, of course, yung connectivity, right? Despite the Department of Information, yung nga sinabi ko, pledge to make Wi-Fi available sa country, throughout the country, hindi pa yan nangyayari, okay? Tsaka yun na nga, sabi nila, itong nagkaroon tuloy nakikitaan ng economic and class divide of Philippine society. This has been a fundamental issue of Philippine education. Students from rich families based in the cities and some highly urbanized municipalities have more access to usually private and expensive schools. While those poor families naman are plagued by a lack of classrooms and teachers and almost inaccessible public schools with limited resources that teachers themselves are often forced to provide, right? Kaya nga, no? Yung nag-conduct ng survey yung PISA, di ba? Yung sinabi sa inyo kahapon. A 2018 study with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, yung OECD, the Program for International Student Assessment, yung PISA, tested a representative population of 15-year-old Filipino students and found them last in reading comprehension among 79 countries na kulerat, di ba? Ano nangyari sa atin? The students surveyed in a country that claims 98% literacy, tayo kuno. Ba't ganun? Hindi makabasa. We fared hardly any better in science and mathematics either. They were a poor second to the last, to 78th place. Oh my gosh, okay? A 2017 study by an international news website also found that Filipinos now aged 16 to 64 are the third most ignorant of key public issues among the citizens of 36 countries. Bakit? That finding is validated by, among other indicators, the epidemic of fact and logic challenged posts that appear in social media. And by the popularity rather than issue-based results of Philippine elections. There is indeed an education class divide between poor and rich students in the Philippines. Totoo naman. Kitang-kita talaga yung disparity, right? There is also the same divide between poor and rich countries. But even a less developed country can still invest heavily on education kung gagawin lang nila itong priority, right? Hello sa mga nanonood at sumama sa atin today. Thank you for joining me. Okay, we're still talking about online education and distance learning, okay? Yung 2018 PISA results were dominated by Chinese students from 4 less affluent regions of China who bested their counterparts in Western countries. The Philippines kasi doesn't invest as much on education as its neighbors. Totoo naman yan. Sana talaga, presidente, or kung sino man ang magiging presidente, we should invest more in education, right? Kasi nagiging kulelat na tayo. And talaga, nung araw, 75% literacy. Now we're claiming 98% literacy sa Pilipinas. Pero, oh my God, kulelat sa reading. Tsaka sa math at science. Ano ba yan? Compared to other Asian countries, okay? Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei, Singapore, Indonesia, and even Laos, kulelat pa rin tayo. The biggest share of the annual budget goes to education as mandated by the 1987 Constitution. But the 3.4% of the gross domestic product appropriated for it is still much less than the United Nations standard of at least 6%. 3.4% na inaalap natin sa education. Ang advice ang recommendation ng UN, 6% at least. In 2019, Congress even cut the DepEd's proposed 2020 budget. So, saan dinalagay mas yung budget? Sa military, tsaka sa police, ganon. Hindi sa pag-aaral. Despite the need for more classrooms and teachers, kinat pa rin yung budget last year. Bakit ganon, right? It need hardly be said that how much a country spends on education helps decide the quality of school facilities and its teachers. Totoo naman. And therefore, yung quality ng estudyante, right? Despite this digital age, all right? Marami pa ring public schools ang kulang. Hindi lang ng computers, pero mga libro, mga desks, mga blackboards. There's also a shortfall in the supply of public school teachers, due in part to their being among the lowest paid among government employees, despite their qualifications and many responsibilities, right? gusto mong maging dedicated teacher, pero yung practicality dictates, mag-abroad ka na lang kasi napakababa ng sweldo, right? Gusto mo maging passionate about your teaching, kailangan mo ring mabuhay. Kaya hindi mo maaalis na umaalis ang mga, kaya nagiging OFWs, right? It need hardly also to be said. Hindi na natin, it goes without saying, hindi natin kailangan isipin that the dismal showing of Filipino students in reading comprehension, mathematics, and science has to be addressed. Pagbutihin natin ulit para naman makasali tayo dun sa top echelon ng mga educated people sa mundo. Kulelat na nga tayo sa Asia lalo na sa buong mundo, right? Ano nangyari? Super pa kunyari, English-speaking country. Nag-deteriorate ang education. Hindi ko alam kung bakit, right? Yun na nga ang pag-i-English talaga. Nung araw, maraming tao marunong mag-English. Ngayon, wala eh. It's low. Ang sasabihin na English-speaking country to na hindi na lahat ng tao marunong mag-English sa Philippines. Noon, kahit na yung nagtitinda ng buko, nakaka-English right? The ignorance and contempt for learning evident in many sectors of the population are in conflict with the imperatives of national development and the democratization of Philippine society and politics. Yun na nga Citizens who know little or nothing are misinformed about the most pressing issues kasi. Okay? Itong sabi nitong si Mr. Teodoro, Luis V. Teodoro. And marami naman talagang valid sa sinasabi niya, right? Nakakalungkot, di ba? Citizens who know little or nothing are misinformed kasi about the most pressing issues. They cannot intelligently make the decisions on which democratic, honest, and effective governance depends. Okay? Hindi nila maalaman din kaya di ba kaya paulit-ulit tayo rin nagkakaroon ng eleksyon ng mga results ay hindi ka kakatuwa dahil nga sa ignorance ng mga tao. Popularity contest ang nangyayari, right? Ang nakakaawang state ng education natin helps explain the fragility of what passes for democracy in the Philippines. Sabi ni Mr. Teodoro, it is of course possible, although never explicitly stated, that keeping much of the population ignorant best serves the interests of the political oligarchy that rules the country. Para ay na nga, pag bobo yung mga tao mo, madali mo na silang lokohin. Di ba? That's sad, okay? So, this is already troubled and troubling context in which the COVID-19 pandemic has forced the entire educational system to shift from traditional face-to-face classroom learning to online, blended, and flexible methods. Sabi pa ni Mr. Teodoro, as expected, the better endowed and equipped schools are adopting various ways to address the problems involved. In higher education, the leading universities, such as the University of the Philippines, Ateneo de Manila, and De La Salle University, are also developing their respective versions of remote learning methods to best serve their students and to train their faculty in them. Ayun na nga yung nangyari. Nung nag-transition tayo last year, ora-orada. Hindi pa prepared, hindi pa ready. Yung example na lang talaga yung anak ko talaga sa Ateneo nag-aaral. Okay na lang, di ba? Ano natin talaga so that we can give the best to our kids, good schools, the best schools, nga mahal ang tuition, kaya kailangan si mami talaga kayod to death. Ako, yours truly, because, I'm a single parent. But anyway, then aside to that is the fact that yung Ateneo, ito sinasabi ko talaga, honestly, hindi naman talaga natuwa masyado yung anak ko nung umpisang stages ng online kasi, everybody, they were not ready. The teachers had to be trained. The teachers had to be trained for the transition. Yung kanila na lang curriculum or yung kanila na lang learning materials. Hindi naman lahat marunong maggawa ng PowerPoint para i-transfer yung mga lahat na ituturo nila. So, yun So, yung Lasal, tsaka yung UP, tsaka Ateneo, they developed their own to train. Pero kinailangan pa rin talaga yung training. Masyadong minadali. Kulang pa rin yung time sa pag-train ng mga teachers at saka pag-transfer ng mga materials. But at both the K-12 and much of the tertiary level, there are still the differences in capability, resources, and training between such institutions and the majority. Okay? Malaking problema ng Philippine education at nadagdag po dyan yung difficulties ng pag-shift from traditional to online. Itong mga quirks na to ay we're still ironing it out, right? As we speak, research pa rin, development pa rin ng methods and ways to streamline it and make it easier for the one studying. Sabi nitong si Mr. Teodoro, the Philippine education is likely to reach its most acute stage in these extraordinary times because of the public health crisis generated by COVID-19. As a less than capable system, flounders in the sea of troubles unleashed by the necessary shift to remote learning. Yan, totoo naman yan. Namumblema pa rin tayo talaga sa pag-transition dahil hindi pa ayos. Anyway, tomorrow, okay, we will talk about life after lockdown. From the massive shift to online education, kasi nabanggit natin ngayon, totoo naman, sabi na it widened the digital gap between rich and poor. Totoo naman kasi. And then, a lot of that has something to do, of course, with facilities, with location, with the availability of resources to use for online, di ba? Yun na nga, hindi lahat may gadget, hindi lahat may internet, hindi lahat may load. Alright? So, yan pa ang problema dyan, right? So, of course, I welcome questions, please, that I may answer as best I can and try. Please feel free to fill in your questions through the Broad Streamcast Communicators page or also to my personal messenger. You may messenger me, Jaye Bautista, or join me on my Facebook. Pa-friend kayo sa akin. And of course, if you miss episodes, our live stream shows, you can always view past episodes sa YouTube na because nasa YouTube na po ang Broad Streamcast Communicators. And we're slowly but surely trying to achieve our goal of, being recognized in YouTube also naman as an informative and helpful venue to help the people with information. Okay, so that was our talk about distance learning in the Philippines, right? And sinabi na nga natin differential sa online learning, right? And thank you so much for joining me today. We're still in the subject of education and how people are studying nowadays in this situation, okay? So, ulitin ko, yung DepEd naman kasi, di ba? They're trying their best, okay? They've even created an internet-based distance education program noong 2011 pa. Nag-create na ng internet-based distance education program ang DepEd, right? Yun na nga yung IDEP, saka yung Open high school program, right? That we talked about kanina, right? So, ang DepEd, pinawasan pa yung budget. Dapat dagdagan pa para lalo mapagbuti ang educational system natin dito, di ba? Hindi dapat binawasan, dapat dinagdagan. Tsaka yun na nga, yung mga sweldo ng teachers, yun ang dapat i-up. Inuuna naman talaga, police tsaka military lang. I think, next to military, ang mga teachers mas importante in a way because yan ang mga nagtuturo sa ating mga anak para tayo magkaroon ng mga kaalaman sa buhay na pwede nang gamitin for their future. Alright? So, please, ibalik na yung budget na tinanggal, na binawas sa mga teachers. Right? Because it's not fair that they should work that hard. Right? But thank you very much, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. We will talk more about the situation of going online and going digital on most of our studying, right? So I will see you tomorrow, and of course, we will discuss yan kasi may nag-text na naman sabi, how do we address the widening of the digital gap between rich and poor, okay? We will answer that tomorrow, same time, same place. And please keep the faith, hope, and love burning in your hearts. Huwag kang magkakalimot magdasal that this too shall pass. This will come to an end. We don't know when. I'm sure not soon, pero we're hopeful because of the vaccine na bababa na and we can achieve the herd immunity community. Okay? Thank you very much, please, and have a good day. Enjoy your lunch. Have a good lunch, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. Has been Jaye Bautista for Buhay Online. See you again tomorrow.
Inyong natunghayan at napakinggan ang mga makabagong pamamaraan sa mundo ng online sa pamamagitan pa rin ng Broad Streamcast Communicators. Hanggang sa muli, maraming salamat po.